Wherever you find yourself, go be the beacon of hope and light in that community.
Rewrite.
New life, new beginning.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Unthank. Welcome to another edition of the Rewrite Podcast. Joining me today, Luke Smallbone with For King and Country. My man, it's so good to see you.
Man, how many years back do we go now, Jonathan? How long has it been?
Dude,
Right from the beginning?
Okay, I'm when we first met, we're going old
Yeah.
school when you all were with your sister.
Yeah.
Touring with her. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking
20 years ago, 25 years.
years.
Yeah, that's crazy. Isn't it a joy to have, I've often joked for a long time, it's very difficult to acquire new old friends. And so to be able to have old friends, to be able to chat, always a great gift. So thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
Yes, sir, man. I know you guys have taken some time off in the last year or two just to focus on family and focus on just feeling the vibe of life again, not being on the road, but just being a dad, being a husband, being a brother, just living life as it should be lived. So you get to writing music and coming back to the new world of touring again and things like that. You come up with a brand new song, World on Fire, which is on Christian radio now, and people are just soaking it in, and it's really blazing a trail heading into 2026. Where did that come from, the inspiration behind that? Because I know there's some personal ties to that as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll back up. So when we decided to take some time off, one of the things that we realized is really time off from touring. Not necessarily we weren't doing it. We decided we were going to work on a new record.
Yeah.
And we've never actually had the privilege of making new music really at home. It's always been in and out, in the middle of tours, in the middle of stuff, and it can get a little. I don't want to complain because I have a very fortunate job, but it can get emotionally taxing, right? And the rest stuff, you get a good night's sleep for the most part. You feel good again, but it's the emotional stuff. And I think for anyone that's actually listening to this, it's the emotional stuff you got to take care of, because if that builds too much, not so good things happen if you don't take care of your soul. So we took some time off, and before we had made that decision, we're actually in London promoting a film that we did a couple years ago called Unsung Hero. And while we were there, that's when we made the decision to take this time off. And while we were there, someone said, "Hey, do you want to go to Oxford University?" And I said, is the Pope Catholic? Of course I want to go see Oxford University. So we go there, and we start looking at all these great places. I mean, look, you look at these, under Oxford, I think there's like 28 colleges or something like that, or universities, however, and it's under this umbrella of Oxford University, but there's all these individual beautiful buildings, and they're all like, this was built in 1498. And, we don't have anything that old that is in America or Australia. And they're like, and it was the newest addition to the college of, whatever. It's insane. But then we come to this one little area in the middle of a street, and they got back to like a cobbled stone, and there was a cross in the middle. And we were like, it's paved everywhere. And then there's this one little area. And they said, well, that's a memorial right in the middle. I said, well, what's up with the memorial? And they said, well, there were two men that were burnt at the stake there. And I was like, oh, well, tell me about that. And they said, when they went and talked about what is called the Oxford Martyrs. If you're like me, you like Wikipedia, look them up on Wikipedia. But there were two men that were burnt at the stake at the same time, Hugh Latimer and Nicholas Ridley. And right before they were about to be burned, obviously, I think Nicholas Ridley was probably like you and I would be a little fearful.
Sure.
And Hugh Latimer turns over to him and he says, "Play the man, Mr. Ridley. I pray today by the grace of God that we will light a fire that shall never be put out."
Wow.
And I remember just being really struck by that statement, because I started looking at my own life. And at the end of the day, everybody has this opportunity to shine a light. I mean, it's not lost on me that your radio station is the Light FM. Everyone has the opportunity to shine a light. And the question that I left with there was, how bright's the light? How can I actually go and set my world on fire? And that's really where the concept of the song came from.
Man, that's cool. I know, like, your family's been involved in ministry for years and years and years. What does that mean personally to you when it comes to setting your world on fire? What does that mean to you? Your relationship with Jesus.
Yeah. I think we overcomplicate what it looks like to follow Jesus. At the end of the day, go love your neighbor as yourself. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And so to me, what that actually looks like is go love your spouse. Go be a great father. Go be a great mother. You know, one of my other favorite quotes, Mother Teresa says, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. That is being the light. Go be a beacon of hope in your community. Go and do the simple things extremely well. I think that people look at, you know, in some cases what you and I do. We got microphones in front of us. They think, well, those are the guys that have got to go do this. Well, no. If every single person in the world became either a pastor or a Christian musician, I think that there's a great chance that people would be less effective for the causes of Jesus. It is about being in the unique places, you know, the whole statement of bloom where God's planted you. Wherever you find yourself, go be the beacon of hope and light in that community. And that's what I look at as I start looking at, I'm not that concerned in some cases about what's happening up on stage. Because if all the things that are going on behind the scenes, I'm taking care of my soul, I'm loving my spouse well, I'm leading my family well, the stage is going to take care of itself. The things that are going on stage, they will take care of itself. It's about the small things that are easy to ignore. That's the stuff you got to get right.
Man, that's good. That's good. So heading into this year then, man, how do you see life differently now? You know, since writing that song, is it something where you're seeing things differently than you did before? I mean,
Look,
whatever
I hope,
it is.
Yeah, I hope that it's always changing. You know, Tim Keller made a great comment a few years ago, and he said, if you want to see spiritual growth, you know, look back 5 years.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you look back just a year ago, it's still a little too familiar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look back 3 years ago, it's still not that far away. But who were you before COVID? Are you different in a better way? I mean, I think the hope is yes. I mean, I think that taking a little bit of time off, and once again, time off from touring, I was still pretty active, and I don't want to say overly busy, but I was still doing a lot of things. But what I realized is I think I had become a little bit addicted to accomplishing things. And I'm not saying accomplishing big things, but just getting home feeling like, well, I did this today, and I did that show today, or I went and I was with those people, but who are you when no one's looking? Who are you? Are you reaching out to, does the presence of Jesus actually touch you? I'll never forget. I was praying one morning, and I was like, God, I hear all of these people spend time with you, and they end up in tears, and they have these encounters with you. And it's like, and I to be honest, I was very honest. I was like, I haven't had one of those in a while. I want to have one of those. And to be honest, it was I get emotional thinking about it. Towards the end of that time, I was in tears with the gratitude and the love for who Jesus was. And so those are the things that I hope to cultivate in life. And I think that's why I hope to be different this year. Obviously, if I'm using Tim Keller's metric, I got to wait 5 years from today to find out how different I actually am. But, I hope to be different.
This is Rewrite, Stories of New Life in Jesus. I'm Jonathan Unthank. If you'd like to join a community of listeners who enjoy hearing the life stories of Christian music artists and influencers, then join the Rewrite text group by texting the word Rewrite. That's REWRITE to 81891. But more importantly, if you'd like to dig deeper into your own relationship with Jesus, you can begin that journey today by texting his name, Jesus, to 81891. God bless you. Join me next time for another episode of Rewrite.